So last time I made a short video, really short, like under 8 minutes, I think, about me camping outside above the town of Buena Vista in Colorado. And I knew when I was making the video that I was missing some footage. And I knew one shot was me riding up to camp, and I was really frustrated by that. I knew I'd shot some going into camp and leaving camp, and I was afraid that I'd shot some more footage. But this is some of the footage that I've misplaced. I put it in a folder. Usually it's the folder, the following folder, the next trip, the next leg of my journey. But in this case, it was 2 folders ahead. So somehow I misplaced it, put it in several days ahead, and that's why I didn't make it to the first cut. But I wanted to share this part. There was a good bit that I was sitting on the side of this hill, reflecting about the journey in total, that I wanted you to hear, because I think it's kind of important. It's a little bit of a reflection of the things that I've learned on this trip, so I thought it would be important. So this is that part that I missed in the last video. Sorry about that. So I'm up here drinking my coffee, overlooking this amazing landscape. I'm just thinking about the next steps. Oh yeah, I'm doing a time lapse. As you can see, I did one with this stupid camera yesterday, and it's got a chip on the lens cover, so normally it's not that obvious that there's a chip there, but apparently when you're doing time lapse, it just hangs there, and it looks like a lens flare, which is kind of odd. But got a few minutes. Yeah, I would say I probably got about 30 minutes, because the sun is slowly creeping over this mountain behind me. I mean, I'm just waiting to see an elk walk across this little saddle there and just stand there and the 21st of September, and I am rapidly running out of time, and I would say I'm starting to get depressed, but I'm still having such a good time. It's kind of hard to say depression is setting in, because I don't think that's really true. I think it's when I make that final turn to go home, that's when it's really going to set in. It's not going to be, think about every vacation you've ever had, when you turn around to go home, when you get on that plane, or when you point the car towards that the drudgery that you have to return to. At least for me, it seems like every time I've ever gone anywhere and done anything fun, it was that it's Sunday, I gotta pack up, I gotta turn around and go home, I gotta leave the woods, I gotta leave this beautiful place that I've been hanging out in. Usually it's a few days, a week. I've been out here almost 2 months, which is extraordinary. I've gotten close to this. No, I haven't. I've never really gotten close to this. I've never been driven this hard to go this long. And it's an experiment. It was designed as an experiment vacation / lifestyle. I went nomadic in 2015. I sold everything. I got out of the whole rat race, most of the rat race of that continuous cycle of mortgage and rent and all that crap that everybody else does, because, why are we working? To have a house so we can put stuff in it. I gave that shit up in 2015, so that was a pretty big change in lifestyle. This would be a bigger change, but shockingly, it's not as big a change as I initially thought. I thought it would be uncomfortable. I thought it would be a weekly struggle, and it hasn't been. It hasn't been a struggle at all, I don't think. Um, the biggest struggle I have every day is trying to find a campsite. Water. That would be like number three. But water's not hard. I could pull water out of a creek. I could pull water out of a horse track. If I meet one of you Texas waddies that hadn't lapped water from a horse track, I think I'd buy him a Daniel Webster cigar. I think I'd shake his hand and give him buy him a Daniel Webster cigar. Anyway.
Well, you're lucky to be where water's so handy. I've seen the time I've drank out of a filthy hoof print, and I was glad to get it.
If ever I meet one of you Texas waddies who ain't drunk water from a hoof print, I think I'll shake their hand or buy them a Daniel Webster cigar.
Talking about reflections, kind of wanted to do this. I wanted to get some reflections from Tim, my riding buddies, Tim and Evan, and even Z. Golly, I didn't record much of Z at all. We did a short ride. Well, no, actually, it was a pretty good long ride. We rode. I met her in up on Beartooth. Not shockingly, I was hoping to meet her up there, but didn't know for sure. So I actually had 3 riding buddies. I spent a couple of days with Z. We had a good time. I think Edmund said 8 days with him. I think I was closer to 10 with Tim. 10 days with Tim. Yeah, hanging out with anybody 24/7 is kind of tough. I mean, I knew that before, but it kind of really emphasized it even more. The fact that it's still hard, even hanging out with people with the same interest or very similar interest. Hanging out with those people in paradise is still not easy. I tell you what is easy, this. Being by myself 24/7 is extremely easy. And probably the way things should be. Could I do it for a year? Yeah, I don't see why not. I tell you, the shocker was Bunka Biker. I didn't expect to enjoy that at all. I expected that to be very uncomfortable, but it was not very uncomfortable, just slightly uncomfortable, just given my nature. I don't like taking from people I don't know. I don't really like taking from people I do know, but there's always a chance that taking a handout from somebody I know could, I could pay that back. And a handout, I guess a roof over your head is not that much of a handout, but I mean, we rolled in late to the first Bunka Biker, and he wasn't really prepared for us, which I completely understand. But I would imagine most people that you're going to stay with Bunka Biker are probably going to want to feed you and get you drunk, get you high, or whatever, because they probably enjoy it. But I don't know. I don't have the big picture either. It may just be a bunch of people like me that really want to be living on the road but can't afford to do it. And hotels, my God, hotels, camping, campgrounds. It's extraordinary what people are charging to sleep. That goes back to that vagabond lifestyle, that nomadic thing. I mean, it was No, I think I struggled with it. I think I struggled with it for a little bit. And I struggled with it for a few weeks on the road, but then I realized, wow, this is so much better. I don't have to make $80,000 a year to live. You don't have to do that. You take the mortgage out. You take rent out of the equation. You take, utilities. Utilities weren't that bad, but freaking a monthly mortgage, a rent payment, utilities is just the icing on the cake of the whole insanity. Most people are spending more than half their income to be able to sleep. Food's way up there for me. Food, I love beer. It's just so much more important things than sleeping. I mean, well, there's nothing more important than sleeping, or not many things. I can go a few days without eating. I can't go a few days without sleeping. I'm gonna sleep. Anyway, I'm trying to get a good few minutes of reflections on my journey with a nice backdrop, but I'm struggling. I'm struggling because I have to concentrate. Reflections, the things that I've learned. It's a whole lot easier than I thought. Bunka Biker is a great resource to help you extend your journey, especially showers. That's the hard thing. Showers is a hard thing. I want to be out here being the most obnoxious and noisy person out here. It's just my voice echoing off the rocks in the canyon here. I got neighbors on the other side of me, but other than their four-wheelers there, I just haven't even known they were there. Well, it's a whole lot easier than I thought. The struggle is keeping my batteries charged, even now, without staying for several days. Showering, of course. I knew showering was a problem before I left. It always has been. It was a problem in the schoolie. Cold water showers. How about cold water showers in winter or cold weather? 50-degree water with 50-degree temperatures. Man, you talk about not wanting to shower. Yeah, that'll take the grit right out of you. So showers were not really a surprise, just figuring out new ways to get a shower that was an issue. And I've been creative. Maintenance. Yeah. I've done maintenance on the road. That's not that big of an obstacle. Not everybody has tires. That's kind of I kind of knew that before, but I thought maybe there would be a little bit better in this age of online stuff. I guess dealers just still don't want to carry inventory. Dealers are assholes. Small shops. Mom and pop motorcycle shops. Yeah, living on a motorcycle is doable. But now I'm looking at warmer weather. Where do I find that? I'm very interested in Mexico. Very interested in Mexico. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do the internet thing. I consume a lot of internet, and I've got a very good carrier now. If only my carrier worked in Mexico, I would be planning my Mexico trip. Well, that, and I gotta make money. I gotta come up with a method of funding my travels.
Well, I hate to be doing it, but I'm leaving this awesome freaking camp spot. I got things to do and places to see, and many miles before I sleep. Well, 3.5 hours to Pagosa Springs. That's where I'm headed right now. I plan to be soaking in a hot springs in less than 6 hours. Let's see if I can get that done.
driving into Pagosa Springs, I noticed this character riding on a tractor sporting a Trump flag and a sign, and I just love characters, so I had to turn around and go track him down and see what he was all about. He slowed down long enough to tell me that it was the least he could do for his country, and someone pulled a pistol on him earlier, and he pulled out a machete. I just thought this guy was a real character, so he appreciated me stopping to talk to him and film him, so I thought it was a pretty interesting stop.
I love Colorado.
Then I turned around and went back into Pagosa Springs and stopped at the place that a buddy had told me about a few years earlier, and hoping to take a bath in this spring, but there was way too many people to take a bath. It's a hot springs. It's a free hot springs right on the side of the river. So anyway, I kept moving.
It's just this doesn't feel like home. So Chama it is. I know going over the pass into New Mexico is beautiful, and I think there's a second one that's beautiful too. Higher elevation, but it'll be nicer, I think. Pagosa Springs didn't work out. Too many people. I was thinking it was gonna be as empty as the last time I saw it. I was gonna take a bath in the hot springs, but there was 4 people hanging out in the hot springs and a family of 5 that walked past. I was like, that's not it. So I had a nice shower here. It's good. Going towards Chama, New Mexico, and then further south, we'll see what happens. Beep.